Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a little review on the Kylie Cosmetics Kylighters. So I don't have any highlighter on right now because I'm going to apply them afterwards. But I wanted to give you guys my first little thoughts on these. I have tried these already, kind of. I put some on yesterday, but I wasn't really wearing face makeup, so I couldn't really give like an opinion on it because I feel like highlighters go on different on top of foundation than like on bare skin. I purchased Salted Caramel and French Vanilla of the Kylighters. These were $22 each. Ended up being $47 since I believe there was free shipping of over 40 bucks. So you can't really see that it says Kylie on here. Like you can kind of see it, but it does. You just can't really see it at all, which I kind of don't like that. Like I wish you could actually see that it said Kylie. And I also wanted to mention that the stickers on the back, you probably can't see these either. Maybe if I do this, they're kind of just slapped on there pretty sloppy. It kind of just looks like somebody went and that was it because they're kind of crooked. I mean, it's not like a big deal. Like I just wanted to mention that. I will say that these are actually bigger than I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be really small, but they're pretty big. Like they're this in compared to my hand. The pan doesn't look very big, but it's pretty large. I was looking yesterday while I was on Instagram Live that this actually has 9.5 grams of product, which is actually more than 99% of the highlighters that I own. I believe Jeffree Star might have more. I personally don't use his products. I don't support him, but I did have a highlighter once before when I used to buy his stuff. I have since then given it away, but I believe his had probably more than this. I'm not too sure, but his thing was huge. I wanted to mention that as well. I also have a bunch of highlighters here. I'm gonna do some comparisons too when it comes to like grams and weight and just colors in general. I bought these the day it launched, which was the 28th. I just got them yesterday in the mail, which was the 8th. So it took about 8 days to ship to me, which again is a little bit longer than normal for me. I usually get her stuff pretty fast, but the same thing happened to me with the Valentine's Day collection. So let me just start off by saying that this formula actually feels really different. It feels almost like velvet. It's like the weirdest thing. It doesn't feel like any other highlighter that I own. That is it swatched on my finger, and they feel very, very soft. For some reason, when I saw like pictures and stuff online, I thought it was going to be more like the Anastasia like highlighters, like that kind of texture, but it's not. It's a very different feeling. It almost feels wet. I also really do appreciate that there is a mirror on here too. I'm not a huge fan of the packaging, but I feel like if the product is good, then like I don't really care about packaging that much. I just go ahead and apply this to my face first of all, and I'll do some comparisons afterwards because I'm sure you guys just want to see like what it looks like. I'm gonna apply French Vanilla on one side and then Salted Caramel on another. On the other side, and then we'll see how it looks. If you guys watched my Snapchat yesterday, the first time that I was like really disappointed in how it looked on my skin, I actually used a fan brush. I'm not a huge fan of applying highlighter with a fan brush. I know it like everybody loves it, but I personally don't. I love my Morphe M501. You guys know this is the only brush that I use to highlight with, so I'm gonna use it with the brush that I normally use. So I'm just taking a little bit on my brush. I will say that these don't swatch very well. Like when I swatched it, you guys can see like they don't swatch nicely like at all, but I feel like swatches don't really matter if the actual product looks good. This is the first time that I'm applying it onto my skin with actual foundation on, so let's see. So that is one layer. And I'm just applying it how I normally apply my highlighter, which is all over the place. So that's like 2 layers right there. Please focus. I feel like you guys could kind of see it more when I do this. So that is like that. Honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. Now, I will say, is this the greatest highlighter ever? No, it's not. For $22, I don't think $22 is honestly that expensive for a highlighter. Especially when it's considered like more mid-range, higher end, and I think it still does the job. And I feel like if you don't like a super intense highlighter, you might like this. I feel like nowadays everybody kind of judges everything on like its intensity, and sometimes things aren't always supposed to be like that. Like people judge shimmery eyeshadows if they're not metallic, but if they're not marketed as metallic, then you know, like they're just shimmery eyeshadows. So I feel like this might be more of like a natural highlight, because I feel like Kylie doesn't wear highlighter, you know? Like she doesn't wear highlighter. every time I see her, she's pretty matte, and I think she recently started using more highlighter, but she's more like a natural kind of highlight person, not like super extreme intense highlight, which is, this is what it basically is. It looks like a very natural highlight, but it still hits the light pretty nicely. What I can see, I mean, I don't have very much texture on my cheeks, but it doesn't look like it would emphasize texture, but it does emphasize pores just a little bit. So I'm gonna try French, or no, that was French vanilla. This is salted caramel. I'm gonna try it on this side. I feel like this one looks really good. Like, I don't mind this one, and this one is a little bit more intense, I feel like, than this one. It might be because of the gold undertone. This one actually looks really nice, and this one is more intense than French vanilla. I'm just going over it with the blush to blend it out. I feel like if you wet your brush, it might make it more intense, which I know a lot of people actually like to do. So I'm actually going to do that really quick. Wet my brush with Fix Plus to see if it can get in more intense with a wet brush. I actually like the mirror on here though. It's actually a really nice mirror. I feel like that made it a little bit more intense, not like too much. But you can definitely make it more intense. Let me just show you guys a little bit better. This side is French vanilla, and this side is salted caramel. I do like salted caramel a little bit better. It has more gold to it, which I usually don't like, but I think I like it. But I'm going to see how they look mixed. Take a little bit of salted caramel on this side. That actually, mixed together, they look really nice. Take some of French vanilla on this side. I think I'm going to take French vanilla down the center of my nose so you guys can see what that looks like too. I just feel like it's a little bit harder to pick up product in the pan. That's the only problem. Oh shit, okay. That got like really intense. I have to take some of it away because it's a little intense, so. And those are the two mixed together. Okay, so now that it has like set into my skin, I honestly don't think they look that bad. I'm pretty sure you guys can see, like, it doesn't look bad. I will say I don't like this for nose highlighting. I don't think it looks good on my nose. It might be because I have dry skin and my nose is always pretty dry, so I don't know if that's what it is, but it looks amazing as an inner corner highlight. I wanted to get into some comparisons, so I have some highlighters laid out in front of me. Like I said earlier, these are $22 and they have 9.5 grams in them each. So starting from drugstore-ish, Wet n Wild is the cheapest, and the Wet n Wild are $4.99 and these have 5.4 grams. LA Girl is $7.99 and these have, oh lord, how many grams does this have? My thing's broken, so LA Girl has 5.5 grams for the two cheapest ones that I have. So now going into the more higher end ones, and since these do kind of have competitive prices for high end highlighters, I'm gonna call them a high end highlighter. Luminizer is from the Balm, and this one has 8.5 grams and this is $24. Laura Geller's Gilded Honey is $26 and this one has 4.5 grams, so it actually has less than the Wet n Wild highlighter. Anastasia's illuminators have 9 grams, so just about a little bit, almost the same amount of product in here, but this one is $6 more. Tarte Exposed is $28 as well, and this one has 5.6, so about the same amount as the Wet n Wild highlighter. And then Becca has, this one is Opal, and this one has 8 grams in it, and this one is $38. So that is the most pricey, and that is the most expensive highlighter I think I own. So the Kylighters definitely have the most product. The only one that I know that has more is Pixie, and I have them back in my other drawer. Those have 10 grams in them, and those ones are 17, I believe. So they're almost the same price, but I love the Pixie highlighters. Those ones are very intense. Those are the ones in collab with Aspen Ovard. I wanted to go ahead and do some swatch comparisons just so you guys have a little idea of how these swatch, and then some of the other highlighters that I just mentioned to you in like shade comparison, you know. This one is French Vanilla, and I have a feeling that because this formula feels so different and it feels very soft and almost like silk, I would say. It has this very weird feeling that it doesn't feel like anything else that I own because it is so soft. I have a feeling that's why it doesn't swatch very well. So that's it on the back of my finger, and I'm just going to put this one right here. Oh, that actually swatched pretty well. I grabbed a lot on my finger though, but that is French Vanilla. And then this one is the Salted Caramel. This one I feel like doesn't swatch well at all. So that is both of them together. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the Mary Luminizer next to French Vanilla because I feel like this might be the closest. French Vanilla is definitely, I feel like it's exactly what the name is. It's like a white gold with more of like a yellowy undertone, and the Mary Luminizer next to it, Mary Luminizer is still one of my favorite highlighters. This is just a straight up white gold with more of a champagne to it. It's better from like back here. You can kind of see it a little bit more. And I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Starlight from Anastasia next to those. This one is like a white with more of a pink undertone. And this one's really intense. Well, actually I kind of just like blended it away. So this one right here is the Salted Caramel, so I'm going to do some comparisons to that. This one is Wet n Wild Precious Petals. This is one of the best drugstore highlighters ever. I'm going to swatch Opal next to that from Becca. And this one is more of like, wow, that actually, Precious Petals is actually a dupe for Opal, it looks like. They're almost look the same. Then I'm going to swatch So Hollywood from Anastasia. I love So Hollywood when I'm tan. So that is that right there. And then I will swatch Gilded Honey from Laura Geller. And Gilded Honey is just straight up gold. And then this is Tarte's Exposed. This is more of like a pale gold. I love this highlighter. And then I'm also going to go ahead and swatch 80 Watt, since this is my favorite highlighter. You guys know it's just the best. So these are some swatch comparisons. This one right here is Salted Caramel, and this one's French Vanilla. So you guys can kind of see there's not really an exact dupe for this. It looks like this is more darker than all of these ones. This one definitely has more of like a warmer undertone than all of these. I have found that Precious Petals and Opal both look a little dark on me if I'm not tan, and then French Vanilla doesn't look kind of close to either one of these, because this French Vanilla has more of like a yellow undertone to it. I will say that I feel like I look oily, but I might have just applied too much highlighter right here. I've also had this foundation on already for like a good while already. Let's see, let's try to take that away. There we go. I don't look as oily now. I think I just put too much like in here, and it's actually really hot in my house right now. It's really hot outside. I don't see an exact dupe for these, at least in anything in my collection. So my final thoughts on these Kylighters are, they're whatever. Honestly, I don't think they're that bad. Like I said, I've been seeing so many people say like they suck and they're not very good and that they're glittery. I did see somebody say that they're glittery. I don't think they're glittery at all. I don't even see glitter in the pan. So that is one thing I will say. I don't think they're glittery at all. I do think that it is very important with the brush that you use for highlighting. This was the brush that I used to highlight. It was the Makeup Shack fan brush. And fan brushes work with some highlighters. I feel like highlighters go on extremely different with the brush that you use. And fan brushes, I feel like, apply a very light amount of highlighter. I don't feel like it packs on a highlighter like I like to. I love the Morphe M501. I use this every single day when I wear makeup and when I wear highlighter. It's the best highlighter brush that I have ever used. It packs on my highlighter like I like it to be, and it's just amazing. So I do think it is very important, if you have the right brush, to get the amount of pigment that you want or whatever on your skin. And if you do want like something very light, I would use a fan brush. But if you like more of like an intense highlighter, something like this, especially a synthetic brush, this is synthetic, so I do think it picks up the highlighter a little bit better. Because I have used another one that's similar, that's like a regular hair brush, and it doesn't pick up highlighter the same as this one does. I want to just mention that really quick because I got two completely different experiences with the highlighter with just two different brushes. So I just wanted to mention that. But I do think for the amount that you get in here, it's not that bad of a price. I would say I would probably pay like 18 bucks for this. 22 is like whatever, but like I would have probably marketed this as like $18. It's not the greatest highlighter in the world, but it's not the worst. I feel like whenever it comes to Kylie products, people are so hard on the products, but definitely I think it is a highlighter that is something that goes with her. Like, she's never been a person to wear a lot of highlighter, you know? So I even thought it was weird in the first place that she was coming out with highlighter, since she doesn't wear highlighter often. But when she does, it's like a very soft highlight. So I think that's what this is. It's like a very, it's like not subtle, because I feel like you could make it subtle, but you could also build it up to be a little bit more intense. It's definitely a highlighter that reminds me of her and her like makeup style. I just feel indifferent with it because my personal favorite highlighter that I get like the most intense highlight with is the LA Girl one, and it's $7.99, and I love it. It's like my favorite. And also like the Wet n Wild one's really good, and it's $5. And I just feel like there's so many cheaper options now when it comes to makeup that are really good, so it makes it a lot harder to judge like higher end makeup now. Was also hearing that some people were getting empty highlighters. I don't know if it's people weren't getting like the actual highlight in the package or if their boxes were empty. I don't know which one it was. I haven't heard too much, but I did hear a little bit of that. The packaging isn't my favorite, but I think it goes along with the rest of her stuff, which is all like the same kind of cardboard, so it matches everything. And I do like that the packaging resembles the shade that's inside, so it makes it kind of easy if you would have like a bunch of different ones to see which one you're gonna pick out, you know? That's my final thoughts on the Kylie Cosmetics Kylighters. If you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.